Welcome to the African Food Safety Laboratory Capacity Enhancement. Announcing Phase 2 of the Africa Food Safety Laboratory Training Initiative. From 24th of July to August 3rd, 2022. Hands-on training for 10 African scientists on analytical applications for pesticide residue and mycotoxin determination in food used for regulatory purposes. The training is held at the Dubai Central Laboratory, Dubai Municipality, UAE, towards the setup of the Dubai Center of Excellence in Food Regulatory Science. This training is funded by the USDA and the USAID implementation by IFSTL in partnership with the Global Food Regulatory Science Society, G-Force.
Good morning, everyone. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Dear colleagues, dear hosts from the Dubai Central Laboratory, colleagues from the Dubai Municipality, all colleagues and experts from African Food Safety Testing Laboratories, colleagues from all partner organizations. Okay, I'm asked actually to remove the mask. Yes, I will attempt to do so. Okay, I just wanted to take some extra precautions simply. And also, ladies and gentlemen and colleagues who are following us on social media, because this event is broadcast on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. So we are in fact here today to embark on the practical phase of a food safety testing capacity building program. This initiative is being implemented by Université Laval in Quebec, Canada, the platform of food risk analysis and regulatory excellence, in collaboration with the Global Food Regulatory Science Society. It is being implemented thanks to the collaboration and the leadership of the Dubai Municipality and the Dubai Central Laboratory, and thanks to the partnership and the collaboration of many contributors, the Waters Corporation, the company R Biofarm, also the funding, and without which actually we would not be able to be here and to have you with us, the funding of the US Department of Agriculture, the Foreign Agriculture Service, as well as the United States International Development Agency. We also enjoy the partnership of AOAC International through its various representations around the world. Safety capacity building, it's a journey. It doesn't happen with a single event. It's really multiple efforts. This journey, at least for this particular phase, started through discussions that date back to 2018, where we were in Abidjan, Côte d'Ivoire. We had, in fact, the privilege to gather a number of African scientists. And in fact, we started some discussions about food safety laboratory harmonization, food safety capacity building. So we're going to show you, in fact, a very short summary of those discussions in Abidjan, and basically we'll see the journey from Abidjan to Dubai.
L'atelier est bienvenu parce que dans les labos, généralement, on a des difficultés, surtout en ce qui concerne les méthodes. Et si nous avons une plateforme d'échange où nous pouvons communiquer avec certains labos pour avoir d'autres méthodes et leur manière de travailler, je pense que ça pourra améliorer aussi notre manière de travailler dans les laboratoires et avoir des produits de qualité.
C'est pour apprendre comment améliorer nos procédures, comment avoir des produits de qualité, comment les vendre en étant sûr qu'ils sont bons pour tout le monde. Voilà ce que j'attends de l'atelier.
Cette synergie d'action concrétise le protocole d'entente signé en septembre 2017 entre la FAO et l'Université Laval, visant à développer des outils techniques et un soutien pour la sécurité alimentaire, les contrôles de la qualité des aliments, la sensibilisation et la conscientisation des consommateurs.
D'abord, en fait, c'est d'en connaître davantage sur l'environnement d'analyse des aliments dans la région, en particulier en Côte d'Ivoire, mais dans la région en général. Et une de mes attentes, c'est que l'on finisse cet atelier par la création d'une communauté de pratiques en analyse alimentaire sous l'égide de l'AOAC internationale, ou à laquelle la section subsaharienne, Afrique subsaharienne de l'AOAC pourrait contribuer à enrichir. Food safety laboratory methods harmonization that also promotes building food safety analytical communities. And this training is enjoying, in fact, the partnership of AOAC International. In fact, we are having here the representation of 3 sections of AOAC analytical community going forward. We have a short introductory set of remarks by the current president of AOAC International. Of course, he's in the United States. It's very early or very late in the United States, so we are going to have these welcoming remarks recorded.
Thank you so much for the kind introduction. It's my pleasure to be able to welcome you here to the laboratory training today. I can't think of a better case study in the collaboration of AOAC sections than what you see here today. Thank you for the Arab section for hosting this wonderful event. Thank you for the Sub-Saharan African section for providing the wonderful attendees. And thank you, of course, to the India section for providing our expert trainers in this area. It really does speak to the types of things that are core to mission for AOAC, and one of the things that makes me so proud to be a member and to represent AOAC at events like this, to see not only are we effective at setting standards and working together to collaborate with stakeholders around the world in assisting in the regulatory community to be able to set standards in a variety of areas, but there's a tremendous amount of resources dedicated to be able to build capacity in various types of analytical areas at different regions through the world. And it's through that outreach where we really do grow our value to the community, the analytical community, but also to continue to grow our membership. As we know, in this region of the world, there are so many young people in the sciences, and those individuals will be the subject matter experts of tomorrow, there to carry the torch on and to continue in our profession long after we're gone. And so I think we owe it to them to be able to provide as many quality resources as possible. So once again, thank you so very much for having me today, and I wish you a wonderful meeting and training, and hopefully be able to see many of you soon at the upcoming annual meeting. Thank you.
Well, again, thanks to Tony for this. This is in fact a short video outlining how you came today. So this is really the review of the online training program, out of which 10 of you got selected to be with us at this training. So it's important to note that You selected out of 320, over 320 candidates who applied, over 160 candidates who followed an online training program. Now, these type of initiatives do not happen without partnerships. And for food safety, and particularly for food safety capacity building, public-private partnerships are key. We would not be able to achieve this without the collaboration and the partnership of technology providers such as the Waters Corporation. And we are very fortunate to enjoy the partnership and the collaboration of Waters, and Mr. Jesus Gomez is with us, and he's going to be saying a few words on behalf of the Waters Corporation. Thank you, Jesus, for being here.
Well, I'm not going to take much of your time. First of all, congratulations for those candidates that made all this journey till here. And thank you very much to Dubai Central Laboratory to host this event. It's well appreciated, and it's something that shows what Dubai stands for, the collaboration with other countries, and to create a network of sharing knowledge and experience. From our side, from Waters, it's a pleasure. I mean, I remember the day that Dr. Samuel approached us to
Can you hear me still? Yes. Okay, perfect. Thank you very much, Jesus. And again, you see, this is also part of the joys of doing things live and being able to manage programs going online, live, and actually as they happen here. We are supposed to be joined by a representative from the U.S. Department of Agriculture, Foreign Agriculture Service here in Dubai. And I think he will be joining later on, hopefully. But in the meantime, we will continue with the opening remarks. And whenever Lucas joins us, we will be able to have him say his opening remarks. We mentioned at least 2 sections of AOAC International. And we will have introductions from these 2 sections, so essentially the Sub-Saharan Africa section as well as the Africa section. We're going to start with the Arab section of AOAC International.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the opening ceremony of the Africa Food Safety Laboratory Capacity Enhancement. Allow me at first to start by introducing the Arab section of AOAC International. Our section was created and approved by the Board of Directors of AOAC International during their meeting, which was held this year, March 14th, 2022. This regional section is the 19th regional section affiliated to AOAC International, and it encloses the 22 Arab countries affiliated to the League of Arab States. Our section will be hosted by the Food Regulatory Science Center of Excellence, which is currently under implementation here at the Dubai Central Labs in collaboration between the Dubai Municipality and the Global Food Regulatory Science Society, G-Force. This section also will have regional reach out with the standardization or within the standardization organizations of the Arab region, the regional organizations like the GCC Standardization Organization, GSO, but also the Arab organizations like the ETSMO. Our section has different purposes and objectives, but mainly to promote interest and participation in the AOAC international purpose and programs, to provide a regional focus and forum for the AOAC International and its members, and for addressing analytical needs, particularly for the Arab region, to provide a means of increasing the knowledge and technical skills of food and agricultural analytical scientists, especially through seminars, forums, workshops, and trainings, like the one we are currently hosting, to provide a means to improve communication within the AOAC international community, but also within the analytical science community of the Arab region, to identify and communicate with appropriate non-member laboratories, organizations, educational institutions, firms, and even individuals in the Arab region, in order to encourage them and to encourage their participation in section and in AOAC international programs, and finally, to develop cooperative relationships with educational institutions, government, industry, and other organizations in the Arab region with an interest in analytical sciences. Currently, our section encloses 55 members coming from 14 different Arab countries. However, our first task and our main task for the time being is to reach out to as many members from the analytical sciences community of the Arab region. That's why we created and we launched our website, which you can visit by clicking or by visiting arabaoac.org. In this website, you will have access to all our activities, our news, our upcoming event, and last or past events, but also to the list of our members, to our governance, records of decisions, of our executive committee meetings, but also, and most interestingly, you can have access to the electronic membership application. So this application is to be used by any individual or any scientist from the Arab region coming from government, industry, or academia interested in joining our regional section. Until now, we did a lot of events and activities during the past 4 months, starting, of course, by making our Arab section operational, creating our executive committee, which encloses now 12 members with a very broad geographical representation of the Arab region. We held 3 executive committee meetings until now, and our bylaws were approved by the board of directors of AOAC International and by the executive committee of the Arab section. Also, we had the privilege to co-host a first event on food fraud, which was held over 2 days, May 24th and 25th, 2022. And of course, we are so glad and so honored to participate in the co-hosting and co-organization of our event now, the Africa Food Safety Laboratory Capacity Enhancement. At the end, please also allow me to introduce our first annual meeting, which will be organized here also in Dubai at the Dubai World Trade Center on October 31 of this year. So please stay tuned, and we would be so glad and honored to receive you all during this first annual meeting entitled Towards Building a Food Analytical Community in the Arab Region. And thank you so much, and wishing you all the success and all the luck in this upcoming training.
So that was Dr. Amin Assouf. He's in fact now a resident scientist in this collaborative center that we are setting up with the Dubai municipality. And Amin is in fact the current president of the Arab section of AOAC. Now, one thing that I would like to repeat here, which is quite important, the Arab section of AOAC is hosted now in the Dubai Central Laboratory. In fact, this is our focal point. Also, we have another objective that we would like to pursue. So I think actually this will cut the echo a little bit in the room. Another objective is to increase the membership from the UAE. You've noticed that so far, and I'm speaking here to our colleagues from Dubai, we have, I think, 5 or 6 members from the UAE. We would like to increase the partnership and the presence and the leadership of the DCL within the Arab section of AOAC. And we are looking forward really to the collaboration that we are initiating here. We know that, in fact, there is an amazing level of in fact, input and contribution in food laboratory science that is produced here in Dubai. And that's why we selected, in fact, Dubai as the center for the Arab AOAC section. So thank you again for agreeing to host the section here in the DCL. We have also the privilege to have recorded a short contribution from the current president of the Sub-Saharan Africa section of AOAC, Dr. Owen Fraser. He's going to be also providing us with his opening remarks through a recorded message.
Good morning, all. On the behalf of the AOAC Africa section, I'd like to congratulate all of the candidates who have been selected and who are participating in the second part of the Laboratory Capacity Building Training Program. I would like to thank Professor Samuel Godefroy, Pereira, the University Laval, and the IFST for organizing and delivering this training program in the true spirit of collaboration with trainers from AOAC India section, trainees from the AOAC Africa section, and the training being hosted by the AOAC Arab section. I would also like to thank the US Department of Agriculture and USAID for the financial support that made this program possible, the Africa Union for supporting this program, and the Dubai Authority for graciously hosting the second part of this training. Improving the competencies and capabilities of the laboratories in the region is an essential component of the food safety strategy for Africa, as well as essentially important to supporting the trade of safe foods within the Africa Continental Free Trade Area. This training is therefore timely, of high value, and no doubt making a significant contribution to building the competencies and capabilities in food testing in the region. In closing, I would like to once again congratulate the candidates and wish them a successful completion of the training course. Your success will no doubt contribute to the AOAC Africa Section's mission to improve the quality of testing and building confidence in analytical results. Thank you.
So that was Dr. Owen Fraser, the president of the Sub-Saharan Africa of AOAC International. And now I would like to invite Mrs. Noura Al-Shamsi, representative of the Dubai Central Laboratory, to join us here in the podium as the gracious host of this event, of this training, and of our collaborative center of excellence. Mrs. Noura Al-Shamsi.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Dubai Municipality and Dubai Central Lab. On behalf of Engineer Abdurrahman, the Director of Dubai Central Laboratory, I would like to welcome you all and thank you for Professor Samuel to give us this chance to host this event. Actually, it's an opportunity not only for you, also for us, for Dubai, and to represent Dubai, and this event is an honor for us. It's a very good chance for DM staff also to learn from everyone and from this event. And I think this is not our first and will not be the last collaboration. I hope that you will have a good program here and have a good time. And Dubai Municipality will always support such an event that will improve the science, the food safety, and food regulatory, and to be part of this work. Thank you so much, and we will hope that to see you again in a bigger event in a different world to represent Dubai, not only in Dubai, also in other countries around the world. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Noura, for these kind words. And I have to also extend my thanks to all the Dubai Central Laboratory team and all those who worked tirelessly to make this, the preparation for this training happen, including, in fact, the preparation of this event. So we are very thankful to you to be able to host this event. You know that when COVID-19 hit, Dubai was one of the only places around the world with all the safety measures that were set in place that still allowed to welcome people and basically to allow this interaction and exchange. And when we were thinking post-COVID about how we are going to be organizing this and with all the restrictions, because you know, when you go over time, it seems so far away, but it's not so far. Just 6 months ago, we had drastic restrictions for travel to and from countries of the African continent. So 6 months ago, we did not know how we would be organizing a training such as this one. We had questions about vaccinations, and we continue to have actually challenges related to the way we are managing this pandemic and this particular issue. Yet, I think resilience is really the key word here, is the key word, which is essentially to try to adapt and to be able to manage on an ongoing basis. And leadership as well is another key word. And we thank you very much, the Dubai Central Lab and the Dubai Municipality, for allowing this training to happen here in Dubai. Now, we have, in fact, a contribution that I'm still waiting for Mr. Lucas Blostein from the United States Department of Agriculture. He's, in fact, the regional agricultural attaché. I got a message that he's on the way, so hopefully he's going to be joining us soon. In the meantime, not that I'm trying to fill the time here, but I had essentially a short presentation that I intended to share with you on the importance of partnerships in capacity building. Not that I need to convince you of that, because if you are all here today, it's because you believe in this, but really to continue to propagate the message and to advocate for added investments, added collaborations and partnerships in food safety capacity building, and particularly in laboratory capacity building. Again, we all know the importance of food safety as a driver to so many agendas, and particularly to food security. We all heard that slogan, and I think right now we are all an adept of that slogan. If it's not safe, it is not food. So essentially, to be able to provide food, safety is clearly paramount. It is also a major contributor to maintaining and enhancing public health. And without having guarantees of safety of products, we would not be able to trade these products around the world. We would not be even actually able to trade products domestically in a domestic market. So no doubt that, in fact, investment in food safety, and if I move to the next slide, investment in food safety is a key issue, a key policy agenda. It covers various areas. When we invest in food safety, obviously, the primary responsibility in food safety is with producers. So essentially, investing in improving food production systems, awareness of those producers to identify hazards and to manage them is key. Investing in upgrading food regulatory systems, and in fact, our training today and this week, in fact, these couple of weeks, will be focused or will be a contributor to enhancement of food regulatory systems, because as we all know, you are all in fact part of regulatory organizations in Africa, and in fact you are all contributors to enhancing the food control systems in your respective countries. And of course, foods are consumed and handled by individuals, by members of the society, so we have to increase the level of awareness of consumers and continue to invest in consumer education and awareness. Now, investing in food safety takes time and takes resources. It's not actually easy to produce experts such as yourselves. It takes years in the making, years of academic development, years of experience to be gained. We will not be able to achieve the best impacts in food safety investments unless we have synergies that we create, partnerships and collaborations. And that's why actually we keep collaborations as a key theme for enhancing the effectiveness of food safety investments. Now, this is in this context, in fact, that we were able to organize this second phase of this capacity building program. Just to give you actually part of the journey of how we came here. I mean, I shared with you a short video about the event in Abidjan where we met in 2018 with a number of African scientists, and we were talking about the creation of food analytical communities. But the journey really to create this phase of the training was bolstered through an event that was held internationally. In 2019, the World Health Organization and the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations organized a number of food safety conferences. The first conference of 2019 was held in Addis Ababa in partnership with the African Union. At that point, we had the opportunity to meet with partners from the US Department of Agriculture, Foreign Agriculture Service, and I'm really happy to see with us the regional counselor, the agriculture attaché for the United States, and representative of the USDA Foreign Agriculture Service, Lucas Lostein, am I pronouncing it right? Lucas, yes. Thank you for being here, Lucas, and we'll give you the floor in a few minutes. In fact, through the leadership of the USDA, as well as the USAID, and a number of private partners, including, in fact, representatives of the Waters Corporation at that time, we discussed how do we organize a multi-stage, a comprehensive food safety laboratory training initiative. And that's how, in fact, the idea of building this together really was born. So you see, it took 3 years really in the making, from the discussions all the way to implementation, and now we are in phase 2. We are very much enjoying, as I mentioned, so a number of private partners, the Waters Corporation. We will have also a participation from our biofarm, who in fact also contributed in kind to the implementation of this particular phase. We also enjoyed the partnership of AOAC, and I mentioned this earlier, the Global Regulatory Science Society, the leadership of the African Union, and also the leadership of Laval University through the platform of risk analysis and regulatory excellence. And we are now enjoying the partnership and the leadership of the Dubai municipality by hosting this training here in Dubai. So you see, it takes all these people together, and more importantly, it takes yourselves. So essentially, our basically experts who are willing to spend their time, their commitment really to follow this initiative, and that's how we maximize the impact of something like this. Now, this gives me the opportunity to speak very briefly about an initiative that we are using this event as practically an initiator for. Through a number of discussions and over time as well between Laval University, the Global Food Regulatory Science Society, and the Dubai municipality, and thanks to the collaboration that was developed over time with the Dubai municipality, particularly the organization of a number of food safety events, we are now working towards the creation of a center of excellence in food regulatory science here in Dubai with a specialty related to food laboratory and food safety laboratory science. Now, again, we will be implementing the principle of public-private partnerships. So essentially, we have the Dubai municipality through the Dubai Central Laboratory and other partners in the food safety arena in the Dubai municipality. We have the Global Food Regulatory Science Society, but we are also going to be counting on the contribution of our technology providers to accompany this initiative forward. Part of the objectives of the Center of Excellence is to promote capacity building. So capacity building and training will be at the heart of what we will try to achieve here. And events like this one, training like this one, will not be the last. I think actually we're starting, in fact, this. And we're going to be using technology as well to help us. So we're going to be using also virtual reality supported training as well in order to be able to reach out to as many learners and as many experts around the world as possibly be. We also will be looking at creating a center for technology demonstration, and this will be achieved through the contribution of our technology providers, making sure that the newest, the most impactful analytical technologies would be made available here, would be used not only to show their performance, but also to develop applications. So essentially to make them useful in practical terms. And we will be looking also at initiating a number of research programs and data collection initiatives. Now, of course, we will not be able to sustain this unless also we insert this in an ecosystem that will allow its sustainability, including the partnership of AOAC International, but also we will be reaching out to a number of academic centers, both here in the United Arab Emirates, in the Arab region, but also around the world, so that we would be able to welcome young scientists that will benefit from this center of excellence. Now, again, also what we're going to be hoping to achieve is that the center will contribute in the availability of data, for example, representing the state of the level of presence and occurrence of nutrients and contaminants in foods available here in the UAE, in the Arab region, but also in other parts of the world through these collaborative initiatives. Now, what we're hoping to achieve, of course, is that through this modest contribution, we hope to build, some progress towards achieving some of the Sustainable Development Goals, where food safety has clearly been identified as a main contributor and a driver. And of course, given that our focus will be on food laboratory science, we hope to have also a contribution towards standardization of analytical methods and the development of leading applications in this area, supporting efforts of compliance verification and enforcement of food control systems. And again, really, for those of you who heard me speak about this in the past, we know that you can have several collaborations, but collaborations can only be impactful if we leverage each other's strengths. If essentially we take every effort and pull them together to work in the same direction. So that's how we are hoping to operate the center, by creation of synergies between the various partners that will be involved. This is it. Essentially, this is the journey that we are embarking on. We thank you, really, for your support to this initiative. We, of course, going to be relying on a number of funding programs and funding opportunities. And, of course, here, it gives me really the pleasure to re-express our thanks and gratitude to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, Foreign Agriculture Service, and the U.S. International Development Agency for providing us with the support to be able to implement this program. And gives me great pleasure to introduce Mr. Lucas Blostein, the Regional Agricultural Attaché here in Dubai, in the United Arab Emirates. Thank you, Lucas, for joining us.
Okay. Thank you. Can you hear me okay? Is it coming through? Thank you so much, Dr. Samuel. Well, you know, what a pleasure it is to be here with you this morning. What an exciting time to be launching something like this. You know, we are facing unprecedented challenges globally in agriculture right now. If you can't tell from what I'm wearing, I'm all about agriculture, right? I got on the cowboy hat, I got on the cowboy boots. Every day, all I do is live and breathe agriculture. And that's why I'm excited to be with you here today, is because it's a wonderful field to work in, isn't it? We affect everything that everyone does. Start and finish. Start and finish, whether it be the clothing that you're wearing, the shelter that's provided, the food that you put in your body, the nourishment that you receive. It's all agriculture, right? All of these things, they come from the land. And we have to protect and foster these resources. And these kind of innovative platforms allow us to share those resources, to pool our knowledge, to pool our expertise, and to look forward to a new mission. And why does that matter? Well, global conflict, prices. When we look at these kind of technical regulations, we're coming together here, we're together today to really upgrade our knowledge, right? We're here to learn and share best practices, to learn about how we can implement science-based policies, science-based thinking, learn new skills and techniques. Why is that so important? Because when our skills and techniques are not matched, when we're talking about different sampling methodologies, when we're talking about different regulatory frameworks, when we're talking about what may be safe in one country and what may not be considered safe in another country, these create barriers to trade. They create barriers to the free flow of information. And what does that do? That increases the cost to our consumers, to our societies. It increases the cost of our food. In some cases, it even causes food to be lower quality and less safe. And the leadership that Dr. Samuel, that G-Force, that the U.S. Department of Agriculture, which I represent, that USAID, that Dubai Municipality is providing here, and that each of you as technical experts are coming and providing, adding to, we can't do this alone. Never has this been more important, and what an exciting thing to look out and be here in Dubai, a global hub for innovation, a global hub for bringing different cultures and peoples together. I mean, look at this room, look how diverse this room is, and how many different countries we represent. Here in Dubai, the fact that we can work with Dubai Municipality, who really is a global leader in food safety, that we can be under the excellent leadership and expertise that we have present in this room to learn and contribute, what a privilege that is. What a true privilege. And how important it is more than ever. Dr. Samuel mentioned the SDGs, the Sustainable Developmental Goals at the UN, and how they were developed, right? And we talk about them all okay, what is this new technique? How can I use this new technique in a laboratory setting? What is this new methodology? The industry is constantly changing. I certainly, I work in government, right? Which means that I can't keep up with anything. And keeping up with all these new academic journals, the science, how to use these technologies, that's what this allows us to do. It allows us to come here as regulators to share, to experience what the latest techniques are being used, to learn on updated equipment, to bring that knowledge back to wherever we're from, and to contribute our own ideas. Part of the importance of these kind of groupings is that each of us come from communities that are diverse, right? We have different diets, we grow different kinds of foods, maybe our concerns in our countries are different, and that's okay. We want that. That is the beauty of this world, that we're not all the same. But without these kinds of groupings, those differences can become barriers. Maybe there's a product that you may grow in one of your countries, cassava. We don't grow it in quantity in the United States, but you can bring that knowledge here, right? And you can say, okay, these are the methodologies we're using on this product. Maybe it's a new kind of tropical fruit. Maybe it's something you're trying to commercialize. And we learn from you. And you bring that knowledge to the table. You contribute it in this global setting. And that's why the voice of African nations, it's why the voice of people in the Middle East is so vitally important. And right now, let's be honest, it's underrepresented. You got a lot of people looking like me, right? Maybe not without the cowboy hat. But if I take the cowboy hat, there are a lot of people that look like me on stages all over the world. Too many people that look like me. And there are not enough voices from Africa. There are not enough voices from Asia. There are not enough voices from the Middle East. And that's the opportunity that this grouping really, to me, excites me about long term. And I talk about it all the time. I see friends out here that have heard me talk many times and that know that I go on about this. But it's true. What excites me about this is what it means long term for contributing to multilateral bodies. Because we need your knowledge. We need your voices. We need your science. We need your opinions. You have a unique perspective, and it's not going to be the same perspective as me. But when we can get together in this kind of environment, when we can learn about the new technical regulations, the new science, the new equipment, when we have these excellent funding sources together, you come to the table and your voice has the opportunity to be heard. And not only here, but at Codex, and at the WHO, at the WTO, at all the other committees that we have going for us globally. And that's what this does. This is a way to open the door for more involvement from the African Union, from our countries and partners here in the Gulf Cooperation Council. And we need your voices, we need your expertise. I went back to the United States recently to actually work on my farm. And I was meeting all my neighbors for the first time. And what did I bring them? I brought them dates. Albatil, actually, if you know the brand. If you see it at the airport, it's some of the best. And when I would give it to them, these are rural farmers from West Virginia in the United States. They've never seen a date in their life. And they think, oh, it's the desert. There's nothing grown out here. And I walk up to them and I say, oh, you have to try this. These are called dates. They are delicious. They grow them all over the Middle East, and they are the best at growing them. I mean, we have some good growers in California, but really, let's be honest. Experts for growing dates are sitting in this region. And they took bites of these dates, and they were just blown away. They're like, wow, this is delicious. I've never had anything like this in my life. That's the joy of getting to do this, the joy of bringing different experiences together. It's why I love what I do, is I get to travel the world, and I get to talk about agriculture with our partners all over the world. And if there's one mission that the USDA Foreign Agricultural Service gets to do that I think really benefits mankind, just no ifs, ands, or buts, it's about how do we work together. It's stuff like this. It's being able to put dollars and cents to projects that bring partners together. And Dr. Samuel just gave you an excellent overview of how we're doing that, of all the different funding restrictions. So what I encourage you, each of you, to do throughout this week learn as much as you can, and become pioneers. Become voices in this. Many of you already are, but take this mission back. Take this mission back, because the work that's beginning now is work that we need to continue doing. We need to upgrade. And it's not voices like me that you need to hear from. It's your voices. It's your perspectives. And I hope that out of these kinds of learnings and these kinds of opportunities, that this will become something regular, where we can invite you to come and participate, you to eventually lead seminars, take back this knowledge to the countries that you're from, to share, and then to bring other studies that you're working on. Studies about crops that you may be growing, studies about nutrition in your countries, and then how do we come together eventually, and how do we find those gaps, right? Those gaps that cause differences in regulations, that cause differences in science-based policies, and that cause increased costs and increased barriers to trade. How do we solve that? Because there is a way. I believe there is a way. There's a way to respect these differences. There's a way to respect the fact that we have maybe different diets, different perspectives, different things we're growing, but at the same time, we need to be coming up with policies that benefit us, our individual countries, and our communities, and that ensure fair, open global trade, because that is the only thing that keeps prices down. And none of us need a reminder in this room about the increase in prices and what these barriers to trade, these technical barriers, these non-tariff barriers, for us, because this is the world we live in now, right? We say COVID and then the war in Ukraine. It just doesn't end, does it? It's always one thing after another thing. It's a new disease. And the same thing is true in agriculture, right? We face more barriers than ever before. But if we can come together and we can share and we can talk about how these new techniques can be applied in a new framework, we can fund these kinds of organizations, then we solve problems. And we're not going to solve all of them. That's the great thing about working in agriculture. All of us in this room will always be employed. Perfect job security. Perfect job security. There will always be some new person out there coming up with a new technique that's going to cause a gap in the regulations. Maybe it's genetic modification of a new crop. Maybe it's a new kind of chemical additive. Maybe it's a new product growing at a scale we've never seen before, being exported for the first time. Those are all challenges, right? Well, the great thing is we'll be employed, but we have to confront those challenges, and it's more important work than ever. So thank you for coming out today. Thank you to Dr. Samuel, his whole team, all the organizational work that has been put into this, my colleagues at USAID, the African Union. Especially I'd like to recognize Dubai Municipality. They have really provided us with a great venue. They're continuing to provide us with new opportunities. And it's one of the pleasures of getting to work here in Dubai, honestly, their leadership on bringing all of us together. Let's keep doing this. I was at a seminar earlier today and they said there's no bad questions. And that's true, right? The only bad question is the question that you leave with. So ask questions today. Ask questions throughout this whole program. Make sure that you're taking away knowledge. Add knowledge. We want to hear from you. Speak up. Give your voice. Give your perspective. We need it. We need it more than ever. And hopefully next time, I'll give you my cowboy hat if you want. You can come up here and you can do the opening. So thank you very much. I look forward to hopefully sticking around for a little bit. Again, my name is Lucas Blaustein. I'm the Agricultural Attaché from the U.S. Department of Agriculture's Foreign Agricultural Service. It's a pleasure to be with you this morning, and thank you so much for the invitation, and thank you to each of you. Without you, this program wouldn't be successful. So please contribute, learn, take away, add, become future leaders in this, because you will be the reason these programs keep continuing. And if you come, then I and Sam, we will work on making this stuff happen with our excellent partners here locally. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Lucas. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your encouraging words. And thank you, most of all, for all the support that you provide us with. Thank you again. I think actually now is the time to get to know our candidates, our colleagues from Africa. So we're going to go around the room and we're going to ask you to briefly introduce yourselves, the organization that you're from, and the country that you represent here at this training. So go around the table, so if you don't mind doing that, and then we're going to be then introducing our instructors as well, those who will be contributing to the delivery of this training program. So.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Professor Samuel. Thank you. My name is... Okay, thank you. So, my name is Ido Koku. I'm from Togo, West Africa. So, I come from Togolese Agricultural Research Institute. So, I'm basically a biologist and specialized in pharmacology, toxicology, and I'm working in the National Laboratory of Food Quality Control at that institute. So I'm very happy to be part of this training, and I'm committed to be mind open to learn as much as possible, and then once I go back to my lab, I'll try to do my implement everything I'll be learning here. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. My name is Lawrence Allo from Ministry of Health, Kenya, working with the National Public Health Laboratory. Okay, I did my first phase of the training. That is somewhere in 2021. It was quite challenging, I have to admit. It got me when I was finishing my thesis. The exams were here for us to do. And then as some of us in the room are also part of Codex, we had Codex meetings. And I was one of the head of delegations now to prepare for the various meetings. So I had 3 competing things to do. But do I thank God who helped me manage this? So back to the training. I thank all the partners, especially AOSC. In fact, last month I just met Dr. Owen Fraser in Kenya. Last month, is it? Early this month. He was carrying out a training on root cause analysis. Then again, I'm just coming from a Africa Food Safety Conference, where Dr. Owen was a speaker. I was also a speaker, and we met again there. So this world is a small world. You come to Dubai, you meet people you met somewhere else, all for the work of food safety. And after this training, we are going to implement all that we have learned. On the first phase of the training, on the techniques which we learned, we've tried to implement what we learned in our laboratory. National Public Health Laboratory deals with testing of parameters of public health concern. So it is quite ideal for our organization for me to attend this course. Thank you.
Good morning to you all. My name is Jerry Chechaitkau from Nigeria. I'm a principal regulatory officer with the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC. The agency deals with the regulation and control of the manufacture and exportation, importation of food and drugs. Mobile chemist as well, and I'm currently posted to the Kaduna Laboratory Services of the agency, which is in the northern part of Nigeria, and I expertise in the analysis of pesticide residue, also the analysis of vitamins and additives in food sample. So I'm very excited to be here, to be selected as part of the participants for this training. And I assure you that what we're going to learn will be cascaded and within the other scientists in our laboratories. And we are going to do our best to foster food safety as well and involve well within the global food safety system. Thank you very much.
Good morning, all. My name is Abdelkabir Mahmoud. I'm from Nigeria. I work with the competent authority in the Food Regulatory and Drug Regulatory Nigeria, and that is National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control. He is my colleague. As he said, he works in the Kaduna Laboratory. I work in the Central Laboratory, Lagos. The agency is structured in a way that we have about 5 laboratories or 6 in each of the geopolitical zones. So he's in the northwest zone, and I am in the southwest zone, which is based in Lagos and is the biggest in the country. So I am an expert in mycotoxin analysis, though we have some gap. Presently, we regulate more of aflatoxin. We've not started doing multi-residue analysis. So with this training, I'm hoping that it's going to be useful in kickstarting the multi-residue analysis in the agency. And I'm also hoping that we will cascade the training to all other laboratories. As I've said, we have those in other zones that participated in the online training but couldn't make the face-to-face training here. But we are hoping that the two of us will collaborate in cascading the training to others. And once again, thank you very much for this opportunity.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Esther Mukete from Namibia. I work for the Ministry of Agriculture, Water and Land Reform, Directorate of Veterinary Services, and I'm based at Central Veterinary Laboratory. I head the section of testing of residues. Namibia is currently exporting meat to international, like to the EU's, United States, and China. And at present, Namibia is the only country that exports beef meat to the USA. So for this, we are required to test for residues in beef and meat products. And therefore, for me to be part of this training is such a privilege, and I feel very lucky to be it, because at present, we are required to test for residues, and we don't have all methods that are required to test, and then we subcontract some of this of our testing to other laboratories in Europe. And if I be trained on this, it will be very good for my country, because we will be able to test most of those tests that we subcontract to other labs in our own lab. Thank you.
Good morning. So I'll say this year I think is more about food safety, and in a special way I've been in special events, about 3 of them, all of them talking about testing and pesticide residues. We were in South Africa, I think last month, late last month, on the African Food Safety workshop. It was pesticide residues and testing. I'm just coming from Uganda. When I was coming here, we were talking about the commercial region and discussing how we can harmonize our regulations. But high on the agenda was also testing. Where I come from, our market is mainly Europe. And with all these regulations, we need to have capacity to be able to test our foods and be able to meet the requirements in these external markets. And so I find this training to be very important. And therefore, in a special way, I thank all the partners, USDA, University of Rabat. These 3-6 months training online was not easy, but we had to put in all our efforts just to make sure that we are capacitated, because we need this knowledge all the time. Waters, we buy these instruments, but we may not be able to operate them at the level that you want us to do. And therefore, it is very important that you keep on building this capacity so that we are able to utilize these instruments to the maximum. My name is Daniel Marwayo. I'm come from Malawi, and I work for the Malawi Bureau of Standards. I manage the food chemistry lab in food safety. Thank you very much.
All right. Good morning to everyone. My name is Paul Osefusu. I'm from Ghana. I work with the Ghana Standards Authority. It's the standard bureau, but we also undertake conformity assessment, which testing is part. When it comes to export purposes, we need to do some testing. We do have labs in the area of food-related issues, that is pesticide, mycotoxin, metallic contaminant, microbiology, and other labs in terms of metrology and the rest. But this particular training is basically on food. I'm here to learn so that the knowledge that I acquire can be used in our organization when it comes to training, when it comes to capacity building, so that we can also do the testing that is required of us. I'll take this opportunity to thank all the sponsors and all the collaborators for making this training possible. We are hoping to learn and also exchange ideas. When we move from here, there's a need for us to collaborate within the Sub-Sahara region so that we can help one another in the area of testing. So thank you very much.
Thank you. My name is Mugwiza Emmanuel. I'm coming from Rwanda FDA. I work in quality control laboratory as a food product testing officer. So it's a pleasure to be part of this training. Our laboratory is used to subcontract pesticide residues in other laboratories. So I believe that being in this training will help us to do these tests on our own. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Bazier Raoul. I am from Burkina Faso, West Africa. I am a biochemist and working at the National Laboratory for Public Health. Yeah, I'm very happy to take part of this program to learn more about food safety But I am also happy to be a part of this big community working to give safe food to people. I hope together we can build a world free from all these threats. Thank you.
Good morning to everyone. My name is Kwitekam Dongo Patrice. I'm coming from Cameroon. I am a food process engineer working at the Ministry of Agriculture of Cameroon, mainly at the Department of Regulation and Quality Control of Agricultural Products and Input. Yes. So I'm very happy to be a part of this wonderful adventure. Concerning the pesticide residues analysis, our laboratory is at the beginning, and I am very happy to take part of this training to allow our laboratory to take a good departure. Yes, so thank you.
Thank you all. And again, we wish you all a very fruitful, effective, and impactful training session here in Dubai. I would like actually here to acknowledge the presence of Engineer Abdurrahman Al Ali, the director of the Dubai Central Laboratory. Abdurrahman is actually technically on annual leave. He's on vacation, yet he actually chose to be with us here. And that's a mark of support that we very much appreciate. Again, thank you, Engineer Abdurrahman, for your leadership, your support, and the support of the entire team of the Dubai Central Laboratory. Thank you very much. Now, of course, we would not be able to achieve a capacity building program and a training without trainers, experts, and instructors. So I would like actually to give the opportunity to instructors to introduce themselves, starting with Mr. Srinivas Joshi here. Joshi. So I'm not pronouncing it correctly. Sorry about that. If I may ask you to introduce yourself, so we're going to go all the trainers, and then I'm going to ask for the introduction of the training program by Dr. Banraji. So.
Good morning. First of all, thank you. Thanks a lot, Dr. Samuel Godfrey, for this kind of excellent initiative for the capacity building. And the areas which are selected, basically pesticide residues and mycotoxins, are very, very critical. Very critical, and most of the commodities, basically, it's as good as mandatory across the world under every regulation. These commodities need to be certified for the pesticide residues and toxins. And as you know, every 3 months, every 6 months across the world, a lot of regulations changing. There are the change in the MRLs. The residue limits are lower and lower day by day. So basically, for the laboratory, they need to build up the competency to cope up the regulatory requirement, not only for their country, but also there is a global trade, so they need to meet the importing countries' requirements. So basically, these kind of capacity buildings are really helpful. And as Dr. Samuel mentioned, as well as Jesus mentioned, that this is just a starting point, and there should be a continuous process pertaining to the capacity building, which can really develop the competencies across the laboratories, not only in this region, but across the world. And we need to deliver our results with the optimum amount of proficiency. And this is, I can say, this is an initiative pertaining to the global harmonization process. So with this, I just conclude my small introduction. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Srinivas.
Good morning. Hello. Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me? Yeah. So, myself, Kaushik Banerjee. I am from India, and I will be one of the instructors in this training course. Basically, I am an agriculture chemist from Ministry of Agriculture's laboratory in India, which is also the reference lab on pesticide residues and mycotoxins. So we are heavily involved in testing of food samples for pesticide residues and mycotoxins. So in this training course, I'm very happy to be a part. And what we have planned that we will organize this 2 weeks course by teaching the pesticide residue first, which will be followed by mycotoxin analysis. I am a part of the G-Force family since its inception. Thank you, Samuel Godfrey, for including me. And I am also a part of the family of AOSC International since 2006 and regularly contributing to AOSC's activities at a global level. Thank you very much, and wish you all the best for this excellent training course which have been planned. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Srinivas and Kaushik. And we're going to be counting on your leadership, on your expertise to share your experience with our colleagues and candidates here from various countries in the African continent. Now, Srinivas will be assisted by my colleague, Dr. Jérémy Théolier. Jérémy, if you can just stand up so that we can acknowledge where you are. So Dr. Jérémy Théolier is a research scientist with us at Laval University in Quebec, Canada. And in fact, he contributed in setting up the online training program that was administered earlier, actually, in 2021. So thank you very much, Jérémy, as well. Operating in a laboratory setting. And when we speak about laboratory, we speak about health and safety. So we're going to be talking from the leader of health and safety in the Dubai Central Laboratory to just give us a quick overview of the health and safety requirements that need to be observed during the training.
Hello everyone, my name is Mariam Anwar and I'm a member of Aman team. I'm an authorized person to give you induction regarding the occupational environment, health and safety. So in Dubai Central Laboratory, we are following the safety regulation as per ISO 45000 and ISO 14001. So kindly watch the following video for your safety in case of emergency situations.
مرحبا بكم في مختبر دبي المركزي. في حال سماع جرس الحريق يرجى منكم إخلاء المبنى من خلال أقرب مخرج والتوجه إلى نقطة التجمع عند مظلة الاتحاد.
Welcome to Dubai Central Laboratory. You are currently in Block A. In case of fire alarm being activated, kindly evacuate from the building, through the parking, and to the assembly point under Etihad umbrella.
So this is the layout of the building. So in each building in Dubai Central Laboratory, there is a safety officer. So in case of emergency situation, they will guide you to the nearest exit to be grouped in the assembly point, which is the union umbrella here.
Where our laboratory operations are located, okay? So with this, in fact, this actually brings us to the end of this opening ceremony. I would like to thank once again all those who made this possible. Thank again our hosts for their gracious welcome, for all the support that is provided and will be provided. Thank you all and wish you a great city building experience sharing opportunity. Very much.
Welcome to the African Food Safety Laboratory Capacity Enhancement. Announcing Phase 2 of the Africa Food Safety Laboratory Training Initiative. From 24th of July to August 3rd, 2022. Hands-on training for 10 African scientists on analytical applications for pesticide residue and mycotoxin determination in food, used for regulatory purposes. The training is held at the Dubai Central Laboratory, Dubai Municipality, UAE, towards the setup of the Dubai Center of Excellence in Food Regulatory Science. This training is funded by the USDA and the USAID, implementation by IFSTL, in partnership with the Global Food Regulatory Science Society, G-Force.